Third canto, 16th chapter, text 37. 3:16:37.
Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you. 3:16:37. Ready?
3:14:37.
16:37. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio.
Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio.
Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya.
Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya.
Shemam Vidyasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadisas.
Shemam Vidyasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadisas.
Tatrasmadya Vimarshena Kriyan Iharta. Please go ahead.
Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio.
Vishvasya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio.
Yogeshwaraya Api Duratyaya Yogamaya.
Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya.
Shemam Vidasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas.
Shemam Vidyasati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas.
Tatrasmadya Vimarshena Kiyanihataha.
Tatrasmadya Vimarshena Kiyanihataha. Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio. Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya.
Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya.
Shemam Vidyasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas.
Shemam Vidasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas.
Tatrasmadya Vimrishena Kiyaniharta.
Tatrasmadya Vimarshena Kiyanihataha.
Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio.
Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio.
Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya.
Yogeshwaraya Api Yogamaya.
Shemam Vidasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas.
Shemam Vidasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas.
Tatras Madhya Vimrishena Kiyan Ihartaha.
Tatrasmadya Vimarshena Kiyanihataha.
Vishvasyaya Stiti Layad Bhava Hetur Adayo.
Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio.
Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya.
Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya.
Shemam Vidasyati Sana Bhagavam Striyadishas.
Shemam Vidasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas.
Tatrasmadya Vimreshana Kiyanihartaha.
Tatrasmadya Vimarshena Kiyanihataha. Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod Baba Hitu Radio. Yogeshwarairapi Duratya Yogamaya. Shemam Vidasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas. Tatrasmadya Vimarshena Kiyanihataha.
Vishvasyaya Stiti Layod
Bahava Hetu Adyo
Vivashyaya Stiti Layo Bhavaheta Adyo
Yogisvarai Api Duratyaya Yogamaya
Yogeshvara Piduratyaya Yogamaya
Shimam Vidas Yati Sano Bhagavams Triadyas
Shemam Vijasyati Sano Bhagavam Shriyadashisas
Tatras Madhya Vimrshena Kiyan Ihart Haha
Tadrasmadya Vimrishana Kiyamyata.
Sit. Hold on, Prabhu. Okay. Right. Anybody else?
विश्वस्यः स्थिति लयोद्भव हेतुराज्ञो
Vishvasya Shiti Layo Bhavaheta Adyo
योगेश्वरैरपि दुरत्य योगमायः
Yogeshvara Piduratyaya Yogamaya
क्षेमं विद्यास्यति सनो भगवान् त्रयादिशास्
Shemam Vijasyati Sano Bhagavam Shriyadashisas
तत्रस्मधिया विमर्शेन कियान् इहतः
Tadrasmadya Vimrishana Kiyamyata.
विश्वस्यायः स्थिति लायोद्भव हेतुराद्यो
Vishvasyaya Stiti Layodbhava Heturadyo
योगेश्वरे अपि दुरात्याय योगमयः
Yogeshvarayapi Duratyaya Yogamaya
क्षेमं विदास्यति सनो भगवान् स्त्रियाधीशस्
Kshemam Vidasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishas
तत्रस्मदीया विमृशेन कियानहर्तः
Tatras Madhya Vimrshena Kiyam Vihartaha Vishvasya
Vishvasya
of the universe.
of the universe.
Ya
Ya
Who
Who
Stiti
Stiti
Maintenance
Maintenance
Laya
Laya
Distraction
Destruction
Udbhava
Udbhava
Creation
Creation
Hetu
Hetu
the cause
the cause
Adya
Adya
the most ancient person
the most ancient person.
Yoga Ishvara
Yogeshvara
by the masters of yoga
by the masters of yoga.
Api
Api
even
even
Duratya
Duratya
cannot be easily understood
cannot be easily understood.
Yogamaya
Yogamaya
his Yogamaya potency
is Yogamaya potency.
Shemam
Shemam
good
good.
Vidasyati
Vidasyati
will do
will do.
Sa
Sa
he
Na
of us
of us.
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
the supreme personality of Godhead
the supreme personality of Godhead.
Triyadishaha
Triyadishaha,
the controller of the three modes of material nature
controller of the three modes of material nature.
Tatra
Tatra
there
there.
Asamadhya
Asamadhya
by hour
by hour.
Vimrshena
Vimrshena
deliberation
deliberation.
Gyan
Gyan
what
what?
Iha
Iha
on this subject
on this subject.
Artha
Artha
purpose
purpose.
Translation. My dear sons, the Lord is the controller of the three modes of nature and is responsible for the creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe. His wonderful creative power, Yogamaya, cannot be easily understood even by the masters of yoga. The most ancient person, the personality of Godhead, will alone come to our rescue. What purpose can we serve on his behalf by deliberating on the subject? Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. When something is arranged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should not be disturbed by it, even if it appears to be a reverse according to one's calculations. For example, sometimes we see that a powerful preacher is killed, or sometimes he is put into difficulty, just as Haridas Thakur was. He was a great devotee who came into this material world to execute the will of the Lord by preaching the Lord's glories. But Haridas was punished at the hands of the Qazi by being beaten in 22 marketplaces. Similarly, Lord Jesus Christ was crucified and Prahlad Maharaj was put through so many tribulations. The Pandavas, who were direct friends of Krishna, lost their kingdom, their wife was insulted, and they had to undergo many severe tribulations. Seeing all these reverses affect devotees, one should not be disturbed. One should simply understand that in these matters, there must be some plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavatam's conclusion is that a devotee is never disturbed by such reverses. He accepts even reverse conditions as the grace of the Lord. One who continues to serve the Lord even in reverse conditions is assured that he will go back to Godhead, back to the Vaikuntha planets. Lord Brahma assured the demigods that there was no use in talking about how the disturbing situation of darkness was taking place, since the actual fact was that it was ordered by the Supreme Lord. Brahma knew this because he was a great devotee. It was possible for him to understand the plan of the Lord. Om Agyan Tirinandasya Gyanajana Shalakyam Chakshunanmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto His lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, welcome everybody. Hare Krishna. All the nice devotees. Thank you very much for coming. The temple is not a temple without devotees. The devotees, there was a conversation I read or I heard, and they were constructing this big temple in Juhu, ISKCON Juhu. And maybe you know a little bit about that pastime. Srila Prabhupada was cheated by this Mr. Nair. It was a big struggle, and the government came and they wanted to take the land and so many things. So I'm not sure if it was Juhu or Mayapur, but Prabhupada said that the locals, they were complaining, why don't you make the deity? Prabhupada made the quarters for the devotees, first of all. He didn't make the mandira for the deity. So they were complaining, oh, you're constructing living quarters for yourselves. What about the deity? So Prabhupada, he said, they don't understand. The temple is a temple only when the devotees are there. The devotees evoke the presence of the Lord. Just like we know that without a bona fide spiritual master, you can have big deity worship. It is pretty much dead. There was this one devotee here, and he was saying that he was in a temple and he didn't feel anything, although the worship was so opulent, he didn't have any feeling, nothing. So it is devotees who create or evoke. They can't create the presence of the Lord, but they evoke by their Krishna consciousness. See, this is the most important aspect. So thank you so much for coming and evoking the presence of Krishna in this temple. Today is the disappearance day of our great spiritual master, the greatest spiritual master in the universe and beyond, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Those who are not familiar with the principles of Krishna consciousness might be wondering, their spiritual master departed on this day, why they're chanting so jubilantly with smiles and jumping into the air 5 miles. What is this? What is going on here? You're supposed to be all dressed in black and cry. Huh? But this is exactly, Srila Prabhupada explains this same principle in a lecture on the disappearance of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that there is no material difference between the appearance and disappearance of the Acharya. And he gives a wonderful analogy, just like the sun. The sun might appear here in the west and might disappear in the east, but the sun is the same. So when the sun disappears in the east, it appears in the west, and vice versa. So Srila Prabhupada, he is a Nitya Siddha. Nitya Siddha means he's eternally perfect. And because he's eternally perfect, he's eternally engaged in the service of Krishna. So the service of Krishna cannot be checked by any material circumstances. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto, second verse, second chapter, sixth verse. Sāva pumsha parodharmo yato bhakti radukshaje ai tuki apratyata yatma suprasidati. Shonaka Rishi is asking Sutta Goswami about the highest principle of religion. The sages of Naimisharanya, they have assembled at the beginning of Kali Yuga to discuss how they're going to counteract the influence of Kali. So Shonaka Rishi asked him, after studying all the scriptures and studying very deeply, what is your conclusion, dear Sutta Goswami? So then Sutta Goswami answers, Sāvai punsha parodharma yato bhaktir adokshaji. What is the parodharma, the supreme religion? That which pleases the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Adokshaja. Adokshaja means it cannot be understood by our material senses. Krishna, you cannot speculate on Krishna. Just like if you want to please me, you cannot speculate. You must ask me, what would you like? Halava or sweet rice? You cannot speculate, otherwise I'll be very disturbed. So similarly, with Krishna, it's the same thing. You cannot speculate on the service. You must take the information from the bona fide disciplic succession, from the spiritual master, from the intimate associate of Krishna. This is what we pray every morning. What is that? Shiradikara. Anybody knows that shloka? Yes, so this is a very confidential shloka. It says that the spiritual master, he is the assistant of gopis. He's in a very elevated position, fully realized. Not that any new bhakta or even old bhakta can become this. This is not the philosophy. So he knows how to please Krishna. So he can tell you. If you want to speculate, you cannot. So if you serve under the guidance of such a bona fide spiritual master, although you might not be self-realized, you might not be perfect, but by the virtue of following a great liberated soul, you are engaged in pure devotional service. I was reading a lecture just a few days ago, or yesterday I think, and Prabhupada says that officially he's liberated. Someone who's engaged in the execution of the order of the Acharya, officially he's liberated. He might fall down later on. That's okay, but for the time he's following the bona fide transcendental order, he's officially liberated. So such a devotee, his service cannot be checked by any material circumstances. I tuki apratyata. And similarly, what to speak of a nitya siddha, pure devotee. Satatam kirtayan tamam yatantacha dridhavrata. Namasyantam chamam bhaktya nitya yukta upashate. Great souls, they constantly glorify Krishna. Satatam kirtayan tamam. Kirtayan means glorification. We can glorify it with kirtan, we can glorify by reading Bhagavatam, discussing amongst each other, or discussing on Facebook. This is all kirtanam, as long as Krishna is in the center. So even if Srila Prabhupada is not here physically, his service continues. Someone else is deriving the mercy of his association on some other loka, somewhere else. So when we are joyful, we're joyful for these devotees who have the personal association, or physical, I should say, because Vani association also personal, a physical association of Srila Prabhupada in some other planet, some universe. That is why we celebrate this day. It is the appearance of Srila Prabhupada. Disappearance here, and appearance someone else. This is the glory of the pure devotee. The pure devotee, just like bhakti, cannot be locked in some organization or some temple or some institution or some religion. A pure devotee goes beyond it. Vishnujan Maharaj, he says that all these great souls, Lord Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Lord Buddha, they didn't belong to any religion. Jesus was not a Christian, Buddha was not a Buddhist, Muhammad was not a Muslim. See, all these designations of bodies were created later to organize people and also to control them for nefarious purposes. So we must always remember the pure devotee and his teaching and his glory goes way beyond any material designation. This is very important. Otherwise, we become fanatics, we become fanatical, and we become offenders to others who are getting his mercy as well somewhere else in some other form. So Srila Prabhupada is so glorious. His glories are unlimited, and we will also see how his glories are manifesting more and more as the time goes by. So only the unfortunate owls, Prabhupada calls them the owls, they don't have the eyes to see, just like the owl is a creature of the dark. So owl-like so-called devotees, they don't understand who is Srila Prabhupada, and they portray him as an ordinary man. This is a great insult, great Vaishnava aparat, to bring the Acharya, liberated Acharya, to the mundane platform. But we know that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, all these motivated religion has been kicked out. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, right from the very beginning. We're not playing any games with these. We kick them out immediately. Srila Vyasadeva, right in the second verse of the Bhagavatam, kicks all these things out. But unfortunately, people have a great attachment for these. So they infiltrating material concepts into spiritual advancement. This is the difficulty. They say that, oh, no. There is a need of something material in order for you to make spiritual advancement. That is not true at all. You don't need. There is one of these movies, and the early movies, and they interview with the disciples. And one of the disciples, he says that, I asked Swamiji if I can use LSD for my spiritual advancement. And Swamiji told me that no, your spiritual life is already there. You don't need anything extraneous. So your spiritual life is there. It is there where the soul, and the soul is always serving. Might not be serving Krishna directly, but is always serving. So the spiritual master simply corrects your service propensity. He doesn't create it. He cannot create the service propensity. It is already there, but it must be guided through knowledge. That is why we should go to the spiritual master for knowledge. So, okay, so now how this shloka relates to Srila Prabhupada? Well, it relates very much because Srila Prabhupada, as all the great acharyas, encountered difficulties. Not because he's imperfect or because he's suffering his karma, but because this is the nature of the material world. Even Krishna had so many adversaries, so many demons, right from the very childhood, so many demons. Krishna just took his birth and Putana is coming immediately to kill him. So similarly, a pure devotee also is pretty much the whole world is his enemy. Everywhere you look, everyone is trying to impede the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So it should not be a surprise to know that a pure devotee has been killed, has been tortured, been poisoned, and all these things. I do not know. Sometimes these people, they say that no, Krishna would certainly protect this pure devotee. That is nonsense what you say. A pure devotee is always a winner. He always has all the women and the Lamborghinis always on the top. This is the idea of devotional service, because Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is infiltrated into spiritual understanding and spiritual advancement. They think that this is the aim of spiritual life, to have money, to have success, to have a strong body. Otherwise, why would they propagate this philosophy, living guru? If this is the qualification of the spiritual master, to have a strong body, because then you can also say who's the most living. You might be a little sick, you're not so living, right? Then we should make gradations. He's living a little bit, he's living very nicely. Yeah, Balaram Prabhu is very jolly, very energetic, so he's the most living. So just see how foolish that is. Yes, this actually happens. Prabhupada says, Haridas Thakur, Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Buddha, I also heard that he was also attempted to be poisoned. Shankaracharya, so many examples. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, also they wanted to kill him. Where is this idea coming from? That a Krishna will protect his pure devotees and so on and so on. That is not the protection. When Krishna says, Konteya pratijani name bhakta pranashyati, that declare to the world that my devotee will never perish. It doesn't mean that he will never perish. In this body, he will continue living for eternity. That's not what Krishna says. What it means that he will always protect him so he doesn't fall down into sense gratification or maya. That is the real protection Krishna is giving. So actually, quite the opposite. The more we suffer, the more enemies we have in our Krishna consciousness, in our preaching work, the more Krishna conscious we become. You see? It is not for making money or having success, having many followers. Lord Chaitanya is very clearly stating in the Shikshastaka, Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim, Kavitam Vadagari Shikamaye, Mama Janmani, Janmanishware, Babatad Bhakti Raitu Kitvaye. Lord Chaitanya doesn't even want liberation. See, he doesn't even want liberation. I don't care, I can go to hell. If I can do Sankirtan there, no problem. With the Yamadutas. No problem. I'll go there very happily. You see, this is devotional service. I tuki apratiyata cannot be checked by any material circumstances. So this is what we're learning from the examples of these great devotees. I remember when I was watching as a small child, I was watching this movie, Jesus of Nazareth. It made a huge impression on my mind. And this personality, he is being crucified and he doesn't budge. He doesn't compromise the truth. It made a huge impact on me. So all these great devotees, they're determined. No, I will not compromise the philosophy. You can kill me, you can chop me, you can poison me. I will never budge. So this is what they're teaching us. I tuki apratiyata. This is the standard of devotional service. And if you're a little disturbed, oh, I have to rise so early, 4 in the morning. If we cannot even do this, then, what kind of followers of Srila Prabhupada we are. He's the Acharya in every sense of the word. He is the Acharya by showing us the conclusions of the Shastra. He's following the previous Acharya, but he's also Acharya in this sense, that he's willing to sacrifice his life for preaching Krishna consciousness. So, of course, we don't want to enter into too much controversy because also this is not our purpose here to discuss some what might appear as a conspiracy theory. This is not our purpose. But Srila Prabhupada very clearly says that one should not be disturbed when a pure devotee is killed. Because this so-called killing or poisoning is the arrangement of Krishna. Everything that is going on with the life of a devotee is directly the arrangement of Krishna. There's no karma. There's a yoga maya. For us, there might be some karma. I might be suffering for my sinful reactions. But when we speak of a pure devotee, there is no karma. So everything that is going on is yoga maya, is the arrangement of Krishna. This we have to remember, because if we misunderstand, some injustice has been done, then we're fighting with Krishna. Krishna, he arranged something in a certain way. It is desire, his arrangement. He has a big plan, as Prabhupada says here. Brahma knew this because he was a great devotee. It was possible for him to understand the plan of the Lord. See, Krishna has a certain plan. So we should not interfere. Prabhupada says one should go on executing. Anybody remembers this particular passage?
Yeah, he said by understanding that it is the plan of the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the Prabhupada says something that one should continue to execute this order. But it's in a different purport. When the Acharya disappears, there's confusion, there's chaos, but the sincere disciple should continue following the order of the Acharya and rectify the situation by following his order. Not by politics, not by wasting time with useless people who will never understand Prabhupada's glory. So, this is very important. I would like to relate it to another purport in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This relates to the deviations of the son of Advaita Acharya. Some of you might be familiar with this portion in the Chaitanya Charitamrita because Prabhupada talks about the Gaudiya math and the split in the Gaudiya math institution. So, Pratame ta eka mata acharyera gana pache dui mata haila daivera karana. This word daivera karana is significant. Translation: at first all the followers of Advaita Acharya shared a single opinion, but later they followed two different opinions as ordained by providence. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The words daivera karana indicate that by dint of providence or by God's will, the followers of Advaita Acharya divided into two parties. Such disagreement among the disciples of one Acharya is also found among the members of the Gaudiya math. Then the purport goes on and on. I will not read it, but this is very significant that this was actually the will of Krishna, that there was a split in the institution. Why this was so, we can discuss. But it's very important that we understand this is not an ordinary conflict. It is arranged by Krishna. There are other examples of how Krishna creates dissension. For example, the Yadu dynasty, right? Yadu dynasty, Krishna created conflict and they killed one another. Just so nobody can claim that I am from the family of Krishna, Krishna arranged so the Yadus, they killed themselves and nobody survived. They all went back home, back to Godhead. Another example is the appearance of Shankaracharya. Lord Narayan specifically ordered Lord Shiva to incarnate as Lord Sripad Shankaracharya to infect people with this Mayavad philosophy with the purpose of increasing the population. See, if someone is a Mayavadi, by denying the personal form of the Lord, one becomes more materialistic. More materialistic. If you don't want to see the form of Krishna, then the form of a beautiful lady must be there. You either beautiful form here or beautiful form there. You cannot be formless. Meditation is never formless. So that's another arrangement of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, he condemns anyone who reads the Shariraka Bhashya, the commentary of Shankaracharya on the Vedanta Sutra. He is doomed. Lord Chaitanya specifically has forbidden. Don't read this. Don't associate with Mayavadis. It's very contaminating. Even Prabhupada, he writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that even a great elevated devotee, Mahabhagavat, can be diverse. The Jews, the Jewish, and the Christians. Because, as it is known, Jewish people who killed Jesus Christ, right? I'm not sure.
A sect.
The sect.
People, yeah, the Pharisees. Yeah,
The Pharisees.
Not
yeah.
all of them are specific.
Yeah, the Pharisees. Yeah. So now the Christians, they condemn the Jews. The Jews, they're responsible for killing our spiritual master. And there's this nonsense fight over bodily designations. Christian, Jewish. There's similar conflict, Hindus, Muslims, right? Die-hard enemies, never make peace. So there's an interesting letter. Prabhupada says, yes, that's a disciple from Montreal. This is a letter from 1998. Took me to a nice church here called Notre Dame. A very nice wooden structural workmanship with colorful figures and windows, decorated with nicely painted pictures about the crucifixion of Lord Jesus Christ. Actually, I visited this church. It's very nice. Everything was grotesque. Generally, the Roman Catholic religion depends on this crucifixion incident in the life of Lord Jesus Christ. I think the depiction of this incident simply stimulates the tensions of difference of opinion and difference of religious principles between the Jews and the Christians. My idea is that if simply by narrating the crucifixion incident of Lord Jesus Christ, the Roman Catholic religion can spread to such a wide area of the world, how much there is a great potency of spreading our Krishna consciousness by depicting hundreds of thousands of such incidents in Ratha Yatra. There is not one incident like Ratha Yatra, but there are many hundreds and thousands of incidents in different appearances of the incarnations of Lord Krishna. In different cities and different centers, we can introduce such multi-pastime ceremonies of Lord Krishna. And certainly people will be gladdened to observe such transcendental and happy ceremonies. You see, so Prabhupada is criticizing this emphasis on the disappearance of the spiritual master of the Christian people, Lord Jesus Christ. Lord Jesus Christ has so many nice teachings. Hallowed be thy name. Glorify the name of the Lord. Surrender all your heart, all your soul, all your mind to the Lord. Why not emphasize these? Simply emphasizing, oh, he died for your sins. He died, and it was the Jews. They killed him. Let's kill the Jews. This is not the essence. Yes, these pastimes are there. Yeah, the rascals are there who will kill him. You're a Christian, whoever. Christians are also killing. Now the Christians are killing us. When we preach Krishna consciousness, they think this is some demon. Right? So if you're a demon, doesn't matter which religion you follow, you're going to be demon in any religion because you don't want to change. And if you want to be a saint, then you're beyond religion, as I explained before. So similarly with the disappearance of a pure devotee, and who did it, and how did it, and which group, and so on and so on. We should not waste time with this. This is not how a pure devotee is thinking. We should be thinking how to unite. We should see the similarities. This is not a similarity. Sorry. Actually, of course, we should not compromise. We cannot glorify a person who is a killer of Vaishnavas. Never. Never. Genuine devotee, okay, here's a portion from Nectar of Instruction. Genuine devotee becomes angry when a devotee is blasphemed, or what to speak of killed. A genuine devotee must become angry. If you're not becoming angry, you're not a genuine devotee, you're an imposter. Prabhupada says, we cannot stop anger altogether, but if we simply become angry with those who blaspheme the Lord or the devotees of the Lord, we control our anger in Krishna consciousness. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu became angry with the miscreant brothers, Jaga and Madai, who blasphemed and struck Nityananda Prabhu. In his Shikshastra, Lord Chaitanya wrote, Trinara pisuni chena, terura pisaishnuna. One should be humble than the grass and more tolerant than the trees. One may then ask why the Lord exhibited his anger. The point is that one should be ready to tolerate all insults to one's own self. But when Krishna or his pure devotee is blasphemed, a genuine devotee becomes angry and acts like fire against the offenders. Krodha, anger, cannot be stopped, but it can be applied rightly. It was in anger, and so on and so on. So anger, this is stated by Narottam Das Thakur. Anger can be actually used when you're angry at the non-devotees or blasphemers. But this is not all in all. You know, if you're just angry all the time and you forget the mission of the pure devotee, then that is a waste of time. See? It is more effective to preach Krishna consciousness and crush rascals by the Sankirtan movement. See, this is the movement of Lord Chaitanya. We're not carrying weapons and chopping people's heads. This is not Krishna consciousness. We conquer everyone through a wonderful process of Sankirtan and Prasadam. Sankirtan and Prasadam. Very peaceful conversion. People don't even know that they're getting converted. It's, oh yeah, let me take this cookie. Oh, very nice. What is this Hare Krishna? Let me channel a bit. Prabhupada sometimes on the Ratha Yatra speeches, Prabhupada says, thank you very much for participating in this Sankirtan movement. So he's talking to the regular people who came just by accident. Thank you for joining this Sankirtan movement. Sankirtan movement is like that. You don't even know that you're part of it. You're chanting, you're dancing, you take part in the Sankirtan movement. Even the animals. I personally saw, we were chanting a long time ago with some devotees on the street, and I personally saw a dog jumping and joining the Sankirtan. We were chanting Hare Krishna, and he was jumping and he was barking, woof, woof, woof. I couldn't believe my eyes. You could see that. Actually, yes, this is the Sankirtan is awakening the soul. We see by the body is a dog, but actually as a soul, he might be a devotee, and he will be a devotee in his future life for his participation. So, yes, this we should not waste time. Of course, if a devotee is blasphemed, don't participate. There are different ways how to deal with the offense to a devotee, right? You probably heard this in the second canto. Prabhupada says, first of all, the blasphemy should be, the blasphemer, his tongue should be cut out. Okay? That's number one solution. Just cut out his tongue. If you cannot do it, second best, commit suicide. Third best, just walk away. Don't participate. So then Prabhupada, he clarifies. I was listening to a lecture. He said this is meant for different varnas. The Kshatriya, he should cut out the tongue. Not that you go and you start cutting tongues. So Kshatriya, like a police, government, this should be the duty of the government. Not that you go on your own and you start killing. It should be the duty of the government to punish those who are blaspheming pure devotee. Whether the government's going to do it or not, that we can only hope and become Krishna conscious at one point. At this point, they're not doing that, so we cannot take justice into our own hands. There's another version of that you can counteract by the arguments and logic by the Shastra, right? So a little alteration here and there. So that is meant for Brahmanas. There's an instance in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chandrasekhar and the other devotee, I can't remember the name, but when Prakashananda Saraswati was blaspheming Lord Chaitanya, why is he chanting? He's supposed to be sannyasi studying in Vedanta, and he's doing the sense gratification Harinam. They were feeling very sorry because he was blaspheming Lord Chaitanya, and they wanted to counteract. But Prabhupada notes that because they were Kanishta Adhikaris, they could not counteract. It's not so easy to counteract. You have to know the Shastra to counteract, blasphemy of a pure devotee. It's not just simply saying that, no, you bogus. It's not enough. The blasphemy of a pure devotee is so powerful that it contaminates the Siddhanta, it contaminates the association, everything. Everything. That's why Lord Chaitanya even says that one should immediately, if he sees the face of a blasphemer, he should jump into the Ganges with his clothes on, just to get purified immediately. Yes, it is so severe, the blasphemy of a pure devotee. So, the third option, simply walk out, seems to be the best for us. Don't participate. But if the devotees, they come and they're curious, then we welcome, of course. But don't participate. Don't, because you become responsible. You participate in the blasphemy. If a blasphemer is glorified, devotees were laughing about the offense, the third offense. We have a little adjusted because Srila Prabhupada writes like that in BTG magazine. Because Prabhupada, he gives the 10 offenses and it's always slightly different. So if you look in Back to Godhead magazine, the early version from India, Prabhupada describes the third offense as disobeying the order of the spiritual master and also glorifying the spiritual master is not bona fide. That is also offense. You see, if you glorify the master is not bona fide as a cheater, you're blaspheming the real spiritual master because you're lowering the standard, right? Yeah. If you say that, oh, Prabhupada is my guru, but this rascal is also my guru, that's a blasphemy to Prabhupada. There's one quote, Prabhupada writes to Brahmananda, he says, I'm very glad that Brahmananda did not put my name into the newspaper section with all the other bogus swamis. He refused. No, I will not put Prabhupada amongst all the other bogus swamis. He refused. So because the position of a pure devotee is minimized like that. We should never minimize the glory of the spiritual master. So, yes, so don't participate, walk out, and follow the order of the spiritual master. This, in my humble opinion, not that it's worth of anything, but based on my understanding or study of Srila Prabhupada's teaching, is the way to do, the thing to do when a pure devotee is blasphemed, or what to speak of killed or attacked, and we can't do anything about it. First of all is the order of Krishna. Krishna has certain reason to do that, maybe to point out who is bona fide, who is not bona fide, who is sincere, who is insincere. And we should follow the order of the spiritual master. That is the real counteraction of the blasphemy. Because people are already blaspheming anyway. They're so rascal, atheistic. They have no faith in a pure devotee, his words, and so on and so on. Sometimes, you would be speaking, how a spiritual master was offended, and this and that. And people who are not devotees, it's like, so what? So it's okay, no problem. So don't waste time. Follow the order. We need to make temples. We need to spread the Sankirtan movement. We need to train new devotees. They take so much time. There's no time to divert our attention. And those who want to fight and so on, they should become kshatriyas, take over the government, and cut the tongues.
Yeah,
if you really want to do.
Oh man, if someone stay always and say, shit, you're shit Krishna and you're bogus Vaishnava, it's no problem to beat him one. Maybe not to cut. But if you don't stop, I see no problem to give him one.
Yeah,
If
like Prabhupada also.
heavy,
Yeah, if you need to defend devotees or you attack the deity, definitely you must.
I did wonderful video I saw first time not long ago. There was maybe in Australia. There was maybe in the cinema or in the university. I will give some later on. There was completely beating up to blood.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Because someone was offending Prabhupada.
Yeah.
What you Swamiji what? And then some of the devotees start, BAM! And then what's going on? BAM, BAM! I saw only blood even. So it's okay. No police, no this. Also. But maybe it's too much to cut, because then our mission, we go to jail and do something.
Yeah, of
But
course.
to beat, okay, why not? Such a rascal, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
No problem.
Ideally, we should be more effective and take the government. Go and take the post. Prabhupada wanted that also. Go and become you have a propensity to be a politician. Go there. Go take votes. Get the vote. Become a president. And put them in jail. Good, yes. But yeah, that would be ideal. But sometimes in Sankirtan also, devotees get attacked. I got attacked, I got beaten. The whole gang came, they beat me up. When I was in Montreal, the little boys, but many of them, it's difficult. So yeah, sometimes you have to defend yourself. But we're not gonna go and attack someone like all these people go and attack, or they're Jews, or let's kill them, or these are Muslims, let's attack. We're not gonna attack anyone. We're gonna attack with Sankirtan and Prasadam. Prabhupada says that you can force these two things in Krishna consciousness, chanting and Prasadam. You're allowed to force someone. If someone doesn't want to take Prasadam, you can force Pakora in his mouth. All right, any questions? Any questions or comments?
And there was also one in, I think this was New Vrindavan maybe, some of the Hells Angels,
Yeah.
they shoot inside laughing with a motorbike.
Yeah.
So
destroy the
this
deity.
time they hate Hare Krishnas maybe. They shoot, and the Pujari, the bullet was going very close to the head.
Yeah.
And later Prabhupada was visiting the temple and asking, what was police? There's some. What is it with the case? They have some. They have done something. They say no. Okay, from now on, some of you should be trained by gun, by this,
Yeah.
and if some same rascal is come, shoot him. Finish.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's allowed.
No
That's
sentimentalism.
legally allowed.
Yes.
You're allowed to defend yourself,
Yes.
especially in the States. You
Yeah.
can have a gun, and if someone comes to your property, you shoot it. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually legal. Yeah. We're not sentimentalists. It's simply, I will I will chant Hare Krishna to him. I will chant sweet kirtan and melt his heart. Arjuna was killing. He was killing on a battlefield. So, yeah, we're not sentimental. Prabhupada also said we're not like these Hajias in Radhakund. Simply, I will not preach, I'll become contaminated. Simply, no, it's necessary we fight. There was some problem with Ratha Yatra here in London. And Prabhupada became very angry. They're trying to stop our Ratha Yatra. So go and protest and fight. We must fight. So, yeah, definitely. And then the anger can be applied properly.
And the point with Jesus Christ, actually. Huh? So even this is the permanent blasphemy. If someone go to church and see his prophet is like this, how it would be that we put always some picture of Krishna in the Lila, and the end he was shot by the and dead, and always like Krishna his Maya body. So only for the atheists they can say Krishna is dead, he is not God, like this. And then Srila Prabhupada always with sunglasses or something, with so swollen hands after poisoning, always like this, this. It's not, but the Christians, they do it.
Yeah.
So even one time we have printed the book, the mantra book, and Udvaga, proper disciple, he forget that this was one picture. There was one crucified, this a cross, and Jesus was on the. And then even Dhananjaya from Germany, he remembered. I don't take the books. There's Jesus Christ, but I say, he's right. In this point, he's right. Finished.
Yeah.
And I say, Udvaga, next print, what we should do is not. We have forgotten Jesus Christ is like this. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, even so. And then next print we take it out.
Yeah.
We took it out.
There was Prabhupada was visiting somewhere in Mexico. He was in some hotel. And, he sat down in the room. And then he called for Samasundar. Samasundar, come. So Samasundar came. And Prabhupada was staring like this, crying. And he looks and he sees the cross. And Prabhupada says, they've killed their spiritual master so they can go on sinning. Take this out. Yeah, take this out. Prabhupada is like angry. It's so blasphemous.
Yes.
But they're very proud, on the chest. They're wearing the cross on the chest. In Christian. So how much in ignorance they are, these people. What can we do?
Yeah, because but this is not now.
That don't say after. Yeah.
We are
Live.
officially here also. Here.
Yeah,
I have a question
because it is in the books of the Jews, in the Talmud, that in the synagogue they have a like Sankirtan. In their Sankirtan, they are make worship. Yeah, Jesus Christ should be put in the hell in excrement and in shame and all this. So this is for them it's good, and therefore this crucified picture for them it's good because they hate him. They say he's not the Messiah, but we can. This is a sacrament from them. So Christian, they don't understand. They go there, so and they become like hating Jesus, like from the vision of the Jews. But they cannot understand this.
Yeah.
So they make always blaspheme them. If the demon,
but also they disobey his instructions.
Yeah.
You see, that's how you can see. They hate Jesus because they don't follow his instructions. Jesus says, to be simple, don't have money, and be compassion, love thy enemy, love the Hare Krishnas.
don't kill.
Don't kill. Yeah. Why you opening
Most
slaughterhouses? So anyway.
Can I ask you a question more on this point?
Yes, please.
Because today is also actually for us the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. So from the day one that I ever saw that movie, The Final Lesson, where it's 20 minutes of like Prabhupada leaving his body. There's no video.
Doesn't leave his body.
Yeah, you know,
Doesn't leave.
according to our physical understanding. But from the first time I watched that video, no video for me personally affected me and endeared me more, connected me more to Prabhupada. Really. And every year I watch it. Today I'll probably watch it also. But I just see that how to the last physical living moment he's preaching to us, thinking about us, for us.
Yeah.
And it just so connects me to it.
Yeah.
So I see that a lot of the Christians, most of them that I know, all of them, they use this crucifixion actually with that twist, that like, and they preach it, look, Jesus died for me. And I can understand that when they see it like that and talk like that, they feel like that okay, I'm surrendering to Jesus because look what he did for me. He sacrificed his body for me, and I'm surrendering. So they seem to be kind of using it in a positive sense to develop their relationship with him. So
Yeah.
can you say something about
Yeah, I mentioned that you know that pastime is also to show us the standard of pure devotional service. Is ahetukya pratihata. Lord Jesus says that you should all carry your own crosses. He doesn't say, oh, I'm going to die and that's it. He says, you also do like me. Follow my example. Sacrifice, surrender. So if that is your understanding of that Lila, then that's very good. But most of them, they just like, oh, Jesus died and I can go on sinning because Jesus always, he's doing the dying part and I do the enjoying part. That is demonic. Yeah. But same thing with Prabhupada, you know, you can also develop the mentality with Prabhupada. Prabhupada, he does everything and we just say Prabhupada, 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 and we smoke ganja. You know, Prabhupada, oh, you want a guru? Prabhupada is the guru. No, I'm not the guru. I just say Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. So, yeah, you have to follow the example of Prabhupada. Be ready to be killed for Krishna consciousness. Don't compromise the truth. Yeah. If you simply speak, there will be enemies. It's a fact. Maya's soldiers will come. So we have to be ready. That's why we say, you are not this body. We're always reminding ourselves, you are not this body. You control your senses. At one point, you have to leave the body this way or that way. So if you preach Krishna consciousness, you get killed, and you go immediately back home, back to Godhead. So, yeah, somewhere I was reading that for a pure devotee, this is the greatest ecstasy, to lay down his life for Krishna. This is the greatest ecstasy. So, of course, don't imitate. I have the stage.
Even in Islam, it's very famous. Allah!
Yeah.
Especially.
That's ridiculous because you're supposed to get killed for preaching Krishna consciousness, preaching, and they're supposed to kill you. Not that you're killing yourself. So ridiculous. What can be done? All right, any other questions or comments, Prabhus? So many of you are here. Maybe some of the new devotees, if you have some questions, you didn't understand some concepts. Yeah, maybe you. Yeah.
Can you maybe further explain blasphemy, or how it looks like if a devotee is blaspheming the master or someone else?
Yeah, for example, you know, they say that Prabhupada, he died. Prabhupada was sick. Prabhupada got a heart attack and he was suffering. This is blasphemy because it is contradicting the description in the scriptures. We can't understand the pure devotee by our imperfect senses, by our speculation, because what we see is imperfect. We have to understand from the scriptures. Actually, in Nectar of Instruction, give me a second. There's a whole verse on this point. Drishtair svabhav janitair vapushas cha doshair na prakatatvam iha bhakta janasya pashyet. Gangam bhasam na khalu buddha pena pankair Brahma Grabatvam Apagachati Nira Dharmai. Being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee's having a body born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee, but despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of the Ganges, which sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam, and mud. The Ganges waters do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. So this is the statement of Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Uparishamrita, Nectar of Instruction. And then Prabhupada clarifies even more. Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material condition, even though his bodily features may appear materially conditioned. One should therefore not see a pure devotee from a materialistic point of view. Unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. Unless you yourself become pure devotee, you can't actually see the real feature of a pure devotee. As explained in the previous verse, there are three types of devotees: Kanishta Adhikari, Madhamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish between a devotee and a non-devotee. He's simply concerned with worshipping the deity in the temple. Madhamadhikari, however, can distinguish between the devotee and the non-devotee, as well as between the devotee and the Lord. Thus he treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee and the non-devotee, in different ways. No one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. If there are such defects, they should be overlooked. What should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Lord. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, even if a devotee sometimes seems to engage in abominable activities, he should be considered a sadhu, a saintly person, because his actual identity is that of one engaged in the loving service of the Lord. In other words, he is not to be considered an ordinary human being. Even though pure devotee may not be born in a Brahmana or Goswami family, if he is engaged in the service of the Lord, he should not be neglected. In actuality, there cannot be a family of Goswamis based on material considerations, caste, or heredity. The Goswami title is actually the monopoly of the pure devotees. Thus we speak of the 6 Goswamis headed by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami had practically become Mohammedans and had therefore changed their names to David Kas and Sakar Manik. But Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself made them Goswamis. Therefore the Goswami title is not hereditary. The word Goswami refers to one who controls his senses, who is master of the senses. A devotee is not controlled by the senses, but is the control of the senses. And so on, so on. And there's just one more portion here. If we consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava, we should understand that we're committing an offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Okay, so this is the answer to your question. If we consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava, oh, Prabhupada is sick. Oh, Prabhupada had a heart attack. Oh, Prabhupada cannot see. Prabhupada needs glasses. That's actually an offense. An offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is very serious. Indeed, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu has described this offense as Hati Mata, the mad elephant offense. A mad elephant can create a disaster, especially when it enters into a nicely trimmed garden. One should therefore be very careful not to commit any offense against a Vaishnava. Every devotee should be ready to take instructions from a superior Vaishnava, and a superior Vaishnava must be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects. One is superior or inferior according to his spiritual development in Krishna consciousness, not age. That's my addition. One is forbidden to observe the activities of a pure Vaishnava from a material point of view. For the neophyte especially, considering a pure devotee from a material point of view is very injurious. One should therefore avoid observing a pure devotee externally, but should try to see the internal features and understand how he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So what does it mean? He should try to see the internal features of a devotee. How can a neophyte see the internal features? Anybody wants to take a guess?
Hear from other devotees who have seen or can see.
Yeah, or from the Shastra. Yeah.
By his actions and what he's doing, maybe.
Yes, by hypothesis. Because he's doing like this, he must be a pure devotee. In the morning we're reading that no one can spread the chanting of the holy name unless he's directly empowered by Krishna. Especially great mass of people. Only an empowered incarnation can infuse masses of people to worship God.
Yeah, therefore, the book of Satsvarup is very poisonous. Because in this book he said,
Yes.
yeah, Prabhupada was attached to family life.
Yes.
So many.
Yes.
This is
Yashodananda Prabhu.
everything what you have read. This is the
Very good job. Yashodananda Prabhu did a very good job.
yes.
He did a review of this poisonous book.
Yes.
And he showed very nicely, very clearly, we don't have to speculate, very clearly showed quote by quote how this person is contradicting Prabhupada's own descriptions of a pure devotee. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to compile the bona fide biography of Prabhupada.
What was the name of the Caitanya Lila? Caitanya Mahaprabhu was umarmen, was it?
Embrace.
Huh?
Embrace.
Embraced him, and he was full of warmth.
Yeah, it was Sanatana Goswami.
Huh?
Sanatana.
He was this?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget. He
Yeah,
was,
yes. That's a good
he was
example.
so sick.
Mount
And he
Chaitanya
said,
didn't
your
care.
body is absolute transcendent. Even there was Aita, was that? Ether, no. Aita.
Insect.
This liquid was coming out.
Yeah.
And the worm was inside, and he put the worm inside because he had no food. and he was never going out. So and then Caitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him, and later on he gave him nice feature again. No wound, everything. And he said, "Oh no, what you have done! Oh my God, now I'm so nice. I was only sitting in the room here because I'm so ugly. I could chant every day, and now I become so attracted maybe to others." And he promised him, "No, I give you a promise. You will never find out." Then he was happy only then. Otherwise he would be again so ugly, with full of worms and everything, liquid on his body.
Yeah, see, Lord Chaitanya is preaching by his example. He doesn't see the bodily defects of a devotee. He says, Sanatana Goswami. Oh, wow. So, yes, we should see the internal features by Shastra. See, by the Shastra. Shastra Chakshusha. One should see through the Shastra, not through the eyes, but through the Shastra. In this way, one can avoid seeing the pure devotee from a material point of view. So if we don't study Shastra, if we don't take part in these discussions, then we will make that blunder. We'll see Prabhupada as an ordinary man, make Vaishnava aparat. And thus one can gradually become a purified devotee himself. Now this is a very interesting portion. Those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited to a certain section of people, only my institution, only my group, a certain section of devotees, or a certain tract of land, only India, are generally prone to see the external features of the devotee. You see? So there's a propensity. These devotees who think like this, in a sectarian way, institutionalized consciousness, brainwashed, they're the ones who will make these offenses most likely. That's what Prabhupada says here. Such neophytes, unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee, try to bring the Mahabhagavat to their platform. That's what I was saying before, minimizing the position by comparing with others. We experience such difficulty, now Prabhupada is sharing his transcendental frustration. We experience such difficulty in propagating this Krishna consciousness all over the world. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte godbrothers who do not appreciate the extraordinary activities of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. They simply try to bring us to their platform, and they try to criticize us in every respect. We very much regret their naive activities and pour upon him knowledge. An empowered person who's actually engaged in the confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. For it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. When one thus criticizes a pure devotee, he commits an offense, Vaishnava aparat, that is very obstructive and dangerous for those who desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. A person cannot derive any spiritual benefit when he offends the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Everyone should therefore be very careful not to be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava or a Shuddha Vaishnava. It is also an offense to consider an empowered Vaishnava an object of disciplinary action, like the voting of GBC. Says it right here. You can't consider an empowered Vaishnava an object of disciplinary action. Like how clear can you get than this? It is offensive to try to give him advice or to correct him. One can distinguish between a neophyte Vaishnava and an advanced Vaishnava by their activities. The advanced Vaishnava is always situated as the spiritual master. No one can instruct him. And a neophyte is always considered his disciple. The spiritual master must not be subjected to the advice of a disciple. Nor should a spiritual master be obliged to take instructions from those who are not his disciples. This is the sum and substance of Srila Rupa Goswami's advice in the sixth verse.
Yeah.
All right? Does it answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, maybe Prabhu, yeah?
If mine is a follow-on, if it's a different
okay.
topic or same topic. Say?
Mine is first one is connected.
Okay, so first him and then brother.
This mentioned pure devotee. Like Prabhupada, the Prabhupada gives two definitions of pure devotee. One who is a Mahabhagavat himself, or one who follows.
Yeah.
Pure devotee.
Purely.
So, what does it mean that someone follows purely? Is anyone who follows the 4 rags and chants 16 rounds and does his best to preach, is he considered a pure devotee in this regard that Prabhupada uses?
Yeah, just like in a letter to Tushta Krishna, Prabhupada says, keep trained up very nicely, and on that principle you can accept disciples. This is what it means. Keep trained up very nicely. Keep engaged. Don't fall down. If you fall down, then that's it. But so long you follow, then by the virtue of your following, you are empowered. In a tiny, maybe not empowered fully, but to a certain extent you're empowered as well. Yes.
So all these things mentioned for a pure devotee, right? Not to consider a bodily offenses, not to instruct him. Also, they can be applied to this kind of a pure devotee.
Yeah, of
Someone
course.
who's a senior.
Of course, you are not this body. That's what we're learning. The Bhagavad Gita, the first thing. You are not this body. Doesn't matter. Your body might be, deformed or whatever. Your body might be in a dog form, and you can still take part in Sankirtan. So the body, why should you find any flow with anyone on the bodily platform? It's irrelevant. The body, you can obstruct to a certain way, but Krishna consciousness is not on a bodily platform. From the very beginning. Prabhupada says that there's so many varieties of devotees, so many races, so many genders. Even Prabhupada actually says in one letter to a trans person, he says that you pick one gender and stick with it. There's a letter like that. So Prabhupada was also very, LGBT friendly. Prabhupada is also friendly. Yeah, because everyone is a devotee of Krishna. You see, so you might be seeing like the Christians or the Muslims more like just one group. They don't mix so much. But in Krishna consciousness, like look at so many devotees here, all from different countries. How are we able to find so much nice friendship and intimacy? Because Krishna consciousness is on the spiritual platform. You see, it's the rascals bringing to the material platform. You need a living guru. That's the beginning of this material platform.
And then, he's more living than me, and he's less living, and then all these bodily conceptions, they infiltrate, and the whole thing, the spiritual consciousness is finished. So that's what Rupa Goswami is talking about. Definitely, yes. Also, any devotee. Naraka Buddhi, there's this shloka in Padma Purana. One who sees a devotee belonging to a particular caste, creed, or the third one is caste, creed, or nationality. I'm not sure, I forgot.
Every designation.
Every designation. Naraka Buddhi is a hellish intelligence that will bring you to hell. Or, in the same shloka, it said that one who sees the deity as a stone, or the Maha Mantra as a musical vibration, or the Mahaprasadam as ordinary rice and dal food. These are all offenses, Naraka Buddhi. So, yes. That's why Prabhupada had so much difficulty, because, he converted the hippies, and when he came to India, all these Smarta Brahmins, this is Westerner, is the Western body, this is not good, not bona fide. Women are taking second initiation, what is this? Simply criticizing, but the fact that someone can convince a Western person to become a Vaishnava, to follow the four regulative principles, that they don't see. It's a real miracle. That they don't see because they're envious. So, so we can learn a lot from these shlokas. Yeah. Your question?
Yes, Prabhuji, back to his question and then your answer, which kind of was, of course, very nice. But I also see that Srila Prabhupada, being a pure devotee and other pure, they use their so-called material situation to actually invoke our service to them. For example, what is the meaning and purpose of Prabhupada having 2 heart attacks on the boat going on the ship? Him coming at such a late age. If he had come when he was 23, most of us would have reacted with false ego that, who are you, some young guy trying to be. But the fact that he came at 60, father, grandfather, he's old, let us serve him.
Yeah.
So I see that Krishna uses our so-called material position and vision to manifest stuff with the pure devotee to invoke our attachment and love for him. So then when we hear, like you said, or we see Prabhupada's wearing these glasses at the last stage, or he needs glasses, well, Krishna kind of is playing with that, using that. We should see that, okay, he needs me, let me help him. That's invoke service. But as you say nicely, we should then go deeper.
Yes.
That's the point. Right.
Yes.
But that's there. We should understand also that Krishna is using so-called material vision to invoke our love and attachment for Prabhupada.
Yes, but very true. We have to be careful. Because you can say evoke, but I would say attract.
Yeah.
Attract, because the evoking can only take place by hearing. Krishna consciousness cannot be evoked by seeing, only by hearing. Srila Prabhupada says that ear is the only organ in the body that can receive the mercy of the spiritual master. So, for example, we have the deity worship, and we make the deity very nice and so on and so on. But what is the purpose? So people come here and hear from the Shastra. It's like Krishna is very kind. He's doing commercial for us. Come. And now hear Shastra. If the hearing is not there, there's a danger. And the instances of this in Prabhupada's Lila, Kirtanananda, where Prabhupada says, Kirtananda thought that he's giving me personal service, and then I have become dependent on his service. That is a danger. If one does not hear, yes, suppose someone seeing, like someone non-devotee, you see Prabhupada, old man, okay, let me help him. That is good, he gets some sukriti.
Yeah, exactly.
But if he thinks that, this old man, I serve him so much and he doesn't praise me, he tells me that I'm a fool, number one, rascal, because I don't chant 16 rounds, then there's a problem there.
Yeah,
you see, so that we have to be very careful. It is to, yes, you're correct, it is to attract those who are very gross materialists. They cannot hear anything. So they need to see some deity. They need to see some many devotees chanting, jumping in the air. They need to see it. But this is not the preaching. The preaching comes after. After, they get purified, definitely, but you must hear. You must hear. Just like the body is only alive because there's a spirit soul in that body. All these different preaching techniques can only work if there's bona fide hearing. And then all these zeros, they make 1 month. You put 1 and then 0 as value. But without it, there's a danger. Prabhupada actually said, I'm trying to find this quote. He specifically says there's a danger. Sometimes there's a danger in personal service. Yeah, you know that letter?
Therefore, Vani is even better. Like Vapu, because
But the specific letter pertaining to the Lila in the early.
in Bhaktisiddhanta Lila, he said that many of his disciples was always every day with him together physically. Then he gives the example like a
Mosquito or
somebody had this.
sitting on the throne, he thinks he's a king.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's one specific letter where Prabhupada explains about this Kirtanananda, because Kirtanananda went with Prabhupada to India in 1967, and he was his personal servant, but he was serving, and then he started thinking, Prabhupada is in my hand, I can control Prabhupada, he needs me. And then he became envious, and then, he did so many offenses. Prabhupada gave him sannyas, but then, he was trying
Even
to
he
take
took
over.
all the donation, he said this.
Oh,
was
Hare
the-
Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to Nathan Prabhu.
Nice to see you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
One other question.
I'm sorry. Only in the evening. Once a day. Sorry, Prabhu, can you ask the Prabhus, because we have some time now, we could build the yajna now, before the speeches begin. You can tell my trail that Prabhus, they can start building the yajna. Okay, so if you don't mind, I'm going to finish the class. We can continue the discussion, and the Prabhus, they can build up the fire pit, and then at 10 o'clock we begin the, with yourself and Narada Prabhu and Mathurapati, you can give your speeches about Prabhupada. All right. Grantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Guru Premanandi.
Hare 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 Bol.
Chari Nani Vishesha Nani Vishesha